Hey, it's Travis, and want to riff, maybe rant about something today. So, I'm pretty sensitive to semantics, to the way things are said, and I'm also very sensitive to how how we work, how we live, the balance between the two. I've worked remotely off and on since 2006, but permanently since 2000, gosh, probably 2013, 14, maybe. And so I've always felt that it's important to find the balance between work and life, because when you work from home, as a lot of people have found out over the past 2 years, that it's very easy to just go work anytime because it's right there, right? It's right there. But I think one of the problems right now with how we should be working, how we're expected to work, and I think that chasm between the two, the expectations between employers and employees on how to work, is really what's causing, well, that and the meaning of work and of life are really causing a lot of the issues. And this great resignation we're talking about, it was in the making. It has been for a while. I think the pandemic just accelerated it tremendously. But I think people want meaning. People want meaning in their lives. They want meaning in the work they do because they spend so much time doing it. And they also realize the old way of working is no longer valid. The old way of working was predicated on the Industrial Revolution of how much. It was always about how much. And there was a time and place where how much mattered. How much did you produce today? How much time did you spend today? How much? This still comes into play now with all of the technology, all of the insight at our fingertips, the ability to reach the right people at the right time with the right message in the right moment that they're wanting it. That never existed before. That's why mass media and TV commercials and numbers and how much mattered back in the day. You had to do mass media because it was a numbers game, because you couldn't be specific with who you targeted, with what and when, and finding them right in the moment, and working on building that consideration in a very tight, targeted manner. How much was important when you were working on a farm, pre-industrial revolution? How much food could you create? Could you grow before fall, before winter, before you'd starve if you didn't have enough? How much was a very important question then. And then during the Industrial Revolution and for the past century, how much mattered because it was all about efficiency and mass production. Again, mass leads to how much. And how many widgets did you produce in an hour? That's what you're judged on. That doesn't matter. How much does not matter. And so, I recently saw an email from someone to someone. It wasn't to me, but it was shown to me. And the manager had said, great job on the hard work, or something about to that extent. And you wouldn't think that, you would see that and think, oh, that's great. They acknowledge me. They see my hard work. But I think that's the problem. That is so drilled into us. Hard work is drilled into us that, again, it's about how much. How much time did you put in? How much work did you put in? And it's not about how much work, how hard you've worked. People can work their asses off and not get anywhere. In high school sports, I was the king of practice. I won every sprint, all the conditioning shit. Like, I was the practice guy. I worked my ass off, but it didn't matter. Didn't matter. What mattered was the game. What mattered is when it mattered and being able to step up in the moment. And I was focused on the wrong things. I was focused on the ancillaries, the conditioning, which is important, but conditioning isn't going to win games. It'll help, but there's so many more other small things that I should have paid attention to, but I was too busy working hard because I thought if I worked hard, if I just won every sprint and just won the conditioning in practice, that things would just magically happen. No. In fact, it's the people who didn't work as hard, but they worked smarter. They focused on the right things. That's who it paid off for. That's who found the success. Not me out there winning sprints. And so I think we have to retrain ourselves to stop thinking about how much time we're spending. Time, we only have so much. Everybody's got 24 hours. So you can only spend 24 hours a day. So who cares how much time? Who cares? What we should be focusing on is working smarter, working intentionally, focused, and really not working so hard, because in a professional setting like a lot of us work in now, thinking, ideas, that is the gold. That is the separation. That's the differentiation. That's the competitive advantage. If leaders and everyone, if they don't have time to think, to step back, put their devices down, get away from their laptops, their computers, go for a walk, think, all they're going to be doing is working hard. And the people who are able to work smarter, break their days up into chunks, understand how their body works, understand when they're at their mental height of the day. For me, it's the morning. I work from 4 a.m. until 7, and that's when I can do the best work because I'm fresh, I'm focused. And then I spend an hour with my family, eating breakfast together every morning. I don't do anything from 7 to 8, ever. And then I come back and I do more deep work, more, not really deep, but things where I have to focus. And then I eat lunch with my family every day, pick up my son from preschool 3 days a week. My wife takes him, I pick him up every day. Rare occasions will I use that time for something else, but it's very rare. And then in the afternoons, it depends on if I've been able to get done what I want to get done. I work in Pomodoros and 25-minute sprints with 5 minutes in between of getting away, stepping away. And if I can do 6 pomos a day it's 3 hours. If I can work 3 hours of focused work, that's more than a lot of people get in a week. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. That means I reward myself in the afternoon. I'll go work in my garden where I can think. I'll ride my Peloton where I can think. I'll go for a walk or a run where I can think. I'll play with my kids where I can be creative and I can think. You see what I'm getting at here? We don't have to be sitting in front of a desk all day. We don't need to be clocking hours. It doesn't matter, because what I can get done in an hour would take some people 4-5 hours because they're not focused, because they're dicking around. They're in an office where they're bumping into people, or people are coming in and they're getting interrupted. So it doesn't matter how much time. It doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is, stop focusing on the wrong things. Stop focusing on how much. Get away from how much and really focus on the what and the why and the who. And that's it. You don't need how much. So eliminate it. That's my riff. I'm going to call it a rant. That was more of a rant. That's my rant. Love to hear what your thoughts are on this. Drop them in the comments. Whatever. DM me. That's what I got. I'm out.